There are a lot of prophecies in the book series Wings of Fire. I find prophecies incredibly interesting, as they foreshadow events in the future, though their wording may be vague. So today, I'm going to be connecting the dots and explaining what you might have not noticed about prophecies and what they mean the first time around. Before we get started, if you are new to this channel, please think about subscribing. I regularly post both Wings of Fire and Warrior Cats content so you'll never be bored. And to my current subscribers, thank you so much for supporting me. I wouldn't have gotten here without y'all. Let's dive right into the Dragonet Prophecy. When the wars lasted 20 years, the Dragonets will come. When the land is soaked in blood and tears, the Dragonets will come. This is referring to the time since the war began. The Nightwings wanted to end after 20 years. However, as pointed out in The Brightest Night, it was really 18 years since the start of the war, and 20 since Queen Oasis died. Find the seawing egg of deepest blue. Wings of night shall come to you. The seawing egg could have been any egg, however the Nightwings is specified to have come from the Nightwing tribe itself. The Nightwings willingly gave up Starflight's egg so that he would possibly influence other Dragonets with his Nightwing ideas. The largest egg in Mountain High will give you wings of the sky. The largest egg in Mountain High may refer to an egg with twins, as an egg with twins would no doubt be large. However, I don't think that having a dragon with too little fire or too much fire would work well for the prophecy. Therefore, it's more likely that they just wanted a strong dragon, who would likely be hatched from a large egg. For Wings of Earth, search the mud for an egg the color of dragon blood. The egg type of blood red is incredibly rare, making the dragon who hatches from it automatically special. A blood red mudwing egg also hatches a dragonet capable of surviving fire. And hidden away from rival queens, the sandwing egg awaits unseen. The Nightwings did not have an egg or princess in mind for this. In my opinion, it is possible the Nightwings were planning to claim the Sandwing was a princess so that they would have more influence, and if things went awry, they could make their prophesied Sandwing the queen. Of 3 queens who blister, blaze, and burn, 2 shall die and 1 shall learn. If she bows to a fate that is stronger and higher, she'll have the power of Wings of Fire. Of the 3 queens, it is obvious only one will survive because they're not making peace with each other after a 20-year-long war. The Nightwings are the power that is stronger and higher, as they supposedly have future sight and mind reading. They want to be submitted to so that they can get support to invade the rainforest. The Wings of Fire is also a reference to the Eye of Onyx, which is a jewel with some wings on it. 5 eggs to hatch on brightest night, 5 dragons born to end the fight. The darkness will rise to bring the light, the Dragonets are coming. The Nightwings knew the brightest night would happen as they have an advanced knowledge of astronomy. The darkness rising to bring the light are the Nightwings, as they have a dark scale color, but are the light in the dark tunnel of the war, and will bring peace to the continents. Now we are on to Arc 2 with the first real prophecy introduced in the series, the Jade Mountain Prophecy. Beware the darkness of dragons. This is a general warning about the evil nature that dragons can have. A large number of evil or antagonistic dragons appear in this arc. Scarlet, Cobra, Chameleon, Sora, Icicle, and Vulture. Darkstalker's name has dark quite literally in it, and he's the biggest villain of the arc. Beware the Stalker of Dreams. Several dragons stalk dreams in this arc. Darkstalker is quite literally named Stalker, and he goes into Moon's dreams. Scarlet walked in the dreams of Icicle and convinced her to do terrible crimes. Flame also had a dream visitor and tried to kill Stone Mover. Beware the Talons of Power and Fire. Talons of Power seems like an obvious reference to Anemone and Turtle, who've quite literal talons of power from their animus magic. And Turtle looked suspicious in the first vision Moon had of him, and Anemone took the side of Darkstalker. It is also the name of the animus ceremony which all Seawings go through. Furthermore, Talons of Power is the name of the sinister organization that Vulture runs that kidnapped Ostrich, orchestrated terrorist attacks, and tried to take over the Sea Kingdom. They should obviously be bewared as well. The Talons of Fire might be referring to Peril, as she is the reason Darkstalker was released in the first place, as she burned his talisman. Beware the one who is not what she seems. This could honestly refer to a lot of dragons. First of all is Pyrite, who is secretly Hailstorm. It could be Onyx, who is pretending to be an ordinary dragonet but was really royal. It could be Sora, who looked kind and innocent on the surface but tried to kill Icicle. Even more candidates include Kinkajou, who is not who she seemed to be to Darkstalker. Ghostlayer appeared to be threatening at first in Winter, but then turned out to be friendly, so she is also someone who is not what she seems. Something is coming to shake the earth. something is coming to scorch the ground. These two lines refer to Darkstalker, as he is so large that he quite literally shakes the earth and his fire breath can scorch the ground. The second line can also apply to Peril, as she is constantly on fire and has very hot fire breath, and her actions scorch the ground as she frees Darkstalker. Jade Mountain will fall beneath thunder and ice. This refers to the storm which Keebley summons at Jade Mountain during the battle, and the battle itself. The fall of Jade Mountain would be its complete and utter destruction, which never came to fruition though it was damaged, unless the lost city of Night can be found. The lost city of Night contains two things which were instrumental in the defeat of Darkstalker, the Soul Reader and Foe Slayer. The Soul Reader was able to convince Darkstalker that his actions were turning him evil. Foe Slayer was able to do that as well, but she also offered him a way out of his situation. With that, let's move over to not a new arc, but a book, Darkstalker. It has a lot of prophecies, so sit back and relax. Dragon of Chaos, Tangling the Webs, refers to Clearsight's actions and choices with Darkstalker, which will change the timeline. Too many eyes and too many threads. Clearsight oftentimes gets overwhelmed with how many versions of the future there are. This leads her to tangle the webs as she tries to get the good future no matter how hard it may be. And as for the next prophecy, which already came true by the time the book gets around to it, from the far to the north, a prince will arrive. Arctic is obviously the prince from the north, seething with darkness and sparkling with ice. He has darkness in himself despite his bright scale color, and he also names his child Darkstalker. In his blood runs a gift for the whole Nightwing tribe, his animus magic, but it comes with a terrible price. The price is both the war and the cost of animus magic on the soul and those who love him. Next up is Whiteout's prophecy. I love Whiteout, so I might be overinterpreting everything she says, as this might not really be a prophecy, but she says this. Oh, she said, I thought the marbles represented chaos theory, and that was just another unpredictable whim of the universe. Darkstalker gave her a look, and she smiled sweetly at the three dragons. I did not intend to disrupt your faith in controllable outcomes. Both Darkstalker and Clearsight have faith in controllable outcomes, and believe they can guide themselves to a better future. However, the universe cannot be controlled by just two dragons. They fail and are instead left with the ashes of something that could have been great. Now let's move on to Clearsight's prophecy for Arctic. Beware your two queens. Queen Diamond is an abusive asshole. She later enchants Foe Slayer to be in a torture prison for eternity. Vigilance is not fond of Arctic, and since the star has intended to use his powers as if it were her own. Beware your own power. Both Diamond and Vigilance are after him for his power. His power also takes a price on his soul, as every time he uses it, he becomes more and more corrupted. Your claws will betray you in your final hour. Arctic's actions set him down a path of destruction. However, he also quite literally rips himself apart on Darkstalker's orders. And it's time for another delightful Whiteout quote to lighten things up. She's exactly right, Whiteout offered. Definitely Azor on the inside. I like the way she knits. She is right, as in she's a moral dragon maybe. Azure on the inside could mean calm, and wise on the inside, as those are character traits associated with that color, and Clearsight is also very calm and wise. I like the way she knits as a reference to tangling the threads. What appears to others to be her ruining the timelines is actually Clearsight trying to arrange the timelines so that they end up in the best one. Whiteout approves of Clearsight's meddling in the timelines, and respectfully acknowledges her brothers. Here's another quote from her. That's alright, he's not gonna snow for a while. This is a pretty obvious mention of Darkstalker's soul. He won't be turning evil anytime soon. And here's another section. Yes, Darkstalker answered his mother. Don't worry, mother, I am being careful. He held out his talons. There are no spots on my soul. Only stripes, Whiteout said and burst out laughing. This is Whiteout making a joke, but it also shows that she thinks that Darkstalker does have more evil in him than he thinks he does. No wild parties, Darkstalker joked. You're the one going into the wild, Whiteout answered from her spot by the fireplace without looking up from her scroll. Darkstalker's life is about to change drastically after he meets Fathom. And we're back to the depressing doom and tragedy. The hole is too big, Whiteout whispered. We're gonna fall into it forever. Not forever, Darkstalker promised. We'll see her again. Whiteout thought about that for a moment, tears sliding down her snout and trickling over Darkstalker's scales. Only one of us will, she said. depending on who loses the future. The hole being too big obviously refers to the bad future, which is awaiting them more and more. The one who loses the future is confirmed to be Darkstalker later. He lost his grip on the future and found himself in the bad timeline. Even after trying to make things right, he still lost. In the end, he met Photopea though, which fulfills the prophecy. What I find interesting is that Whiteout didn't seem to know who to win until much later in the book, which implies that Whiteout could have been in his place if things had been a bit different. And now we have an all-knowing prophecy to break up all the good that we had with my favorite character, Whiteout. Hatched of ice and hatched of night. This line is not particularly subtle. Darkstalker is half Nightwing and half Icewing, cursed with moons all shining bright. Darkstalker was born under 3 moons, giving especially strong future vision and mind reading. Because of those powers, he became paranoid over the future and over what other dragons thought of him. Longs for power not his own. Darkstalker is royal, but he has no title. Comes to steal your very throne. He aims to kill vigilance and become king. And then Whiteout says this once he begins to go down the darker path. "Oh no," she cried, "it's too late. The sand is falling." The sand is the sand in the enchanted hourglass. The white sand is falling more into Darkstalker's hourglass at a higher rate, as his soul becomes more corrupted as he heads down the darker path. Let's return to modern times and discuss the Arc 3 prophecy, aka the Lost Continent prophecy. Turn your eyes, your wings, your fire to land across the sea. This refers to Pantala, which is a different setting than the one seen in previous arcs, where dragons are poisoned and dragons are dying. This line refers to 2 things. First is the poison jungle, where the leafwings have been forced to live post-tree wars. They are quite literally being poisoned there. Second is the poisoning being done to the hivewings in order for them to join the hive mind. And no one can ever be free. This line is about the hivewings who are under the control of the other mind despite looking like they are in control of everything. The silkwings are also not free because they are under the control of the hivewings. The leafwings too are not free because they are forced to live in the poison jungle. And the scavengers are not free because they have to deal with the other mind. A secret lurks inside their eggs. That is, wasp poisoning the eggs with the other mind's serum, the breath of evil. A secret hides within their book. Queen Wasp has been lying about what is inside the Book of Clearsight, and what Clearsight would have wanted for the tribes. A secret buried far below may save those brave enough to look. The other mind's central brain is located underground, and it is feared by scavengers. Traveling underground is not an easy thing for dragons to do either, as dragons have wings and are not meant to be underground. Open your hearts, your minds, your wings to the dragons who flee from the hive. The chrysalis and leafwings are forced to go across the sea after the other mind takes over the entirety of the silkwing and hivewing tribes. Snowfall initially wants to reject them, however she ends up letting them in. Face a great evil with talons united, or none of the tribes will survive. If the Pyrrhians do not assist the Pantalons, then they will be threatened too, as the other mind knows where they are and will stop at nothing to consume everything. Okay, I think that was every single prophecy in Wings of Fire explained / reviewed. Did your interpretation differ for any of them? Comment down below. If you like this video, feel free to subscribe. I make Wings of Fire and Warrior Cats videos pretty often, and your support would mean a lot to me. And to those who have already subscribed, thank you for your continued support. I wouldn't have gotten here without y'all. Peace, Rogan out.